Howdy, howdy, howdy. It's Ron Father 916. Oh, a few weeks ago, he said that the Haitians were killing the pets of the citizens of Springfield, Ohio. Ohio has a worker shortage they've had for the last few years, and the immigrants were brought there legally to work there. They're filling much needed vacancies and helping the economy of not only Springfield, but the rest of the state, because the state has had a shortage of workers for years now. In the last week or so in Wisconsin, he said that immigrants will walk in your kitchen and slit your throat. Um, his remarks has a negative effect for the people who live in town. Despite what the mayor says, the governor says, anybody says these Haitians are evil. And he's causing a problem for the black people and the Haitians people, because how many people can tell the difference? We're all black or brown skin. And someone there meaning well with an AK-47 could go into that community and kill people. I want to take that out of the universe. But since he has been president, Jews have been killed in a mosque. Somebody went into the mosque and shot up Jewish people in a place of worship. Since he's been president, someone drove hours into a Walmart in El Paso, Texas. And I've been in that Walmart. And killed 23 Mexicans and wounded another 23, 24 others. That's under his watch. And then under Biden's watch, but in the Young Boys Manifesto, I think if you remember, he was in a supermarket, long way from where he went, but he wanted to go to that supermarket because he thought that's where he could kill black people, and that's what he did. Biden was president, but the gentleman mentioned Trump and his rhetoric. So would this be far-fetched? He says if he becomes president, and this is the last 24 hours, that despite these Haitian immigrants who are in Spring Hill, who are helping the economy, the local economy, the statewide economy, haven't committed any crimes, no one's found a geese or a dog or a pet, and he wants to send them home. Why? In I believe this was in. I believe this is Michigan a few weeks ago. He said that if he's not elected, he's going to blame Jewish voters. Now, I want to step back. You know, if you want to take a second, write this down. June 2018. He was President Trump then. And in a meeting in the Oval Office about immigration, he said, why are we keep accepting these immigrants from Haiti and shithole countries from Africa rather than places like Norway? He said that. We were shocked. As we near election, he's getting scared. The polls are not with him. The waves are not with him. He's saying almost anything. He's trying to create hatred, division. He's trying to scare some of the population, some of his voters, into going into that voting booth and voting for him. And here's the scary thing. In the last 24 hours, our president our former president, calls for one day of real violence perpetrated by the police. He calls it a nasty, violent day of police retaliation, the intent to eradicate crime. Now, you know where he's talking about and what cities he's talking about, which I'd like to address some of my Mexican and black brothers. If you don't know he's talking about us, then you need to talk to your grandparents. If you are black, you need to talk about his history of racism. So, you know, I don't understand it. In April 2016, he came down the escalator and he talked about Mexicans. We knew who he was talking about. And black people weren't cool with that because we knew we were next. Other people of color knew that we were next. When have you had a politician anywhere who's run for president been this type of racist, sending dog whistles to white supremacists? He won't deny that he's in collusion or he spoke to the white and he's accepting their help. Back in 2016, he denied it, but yet he's doing things like that. January 6, 2020. I think this what upsets me about Trump because he's an entertainer and people fall for entertainers. California did. We elected Arnold Schwarzenegger and Ronald Reagan. Not based on what they could do, based on what we see them as, and they're playing a role. I will back up for Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan had worked in politics, local. You know, this wasn't. I just want to do this to keep from going to jail. He didn't do this, but we've had them. And what bothers me, loyalty is important to me. And these people are loyal to Donald Trump. I mean, basically, he wants, everybody knows he's got court cases beyond his lifetime. That's why he wants to be a dictator and he wants to be in charge for as long as he lives because he can run out the statute of limitations for all these lawsuits. There are other women who are suing him for rape or sexual battery, which kills me. I hate to say this to my Christians, the evangelicals. If I came up on a list as a sex offender, as Donald Trump does, would you allow me in your church? You wouldn't allow me in your neighborhood. Doesn't matter what color I am, you wouldn't allow me in your neighborhood. He's a sexual offender. He is. But it kills me. These people are loyal to him, has done everything because they believed in him, and he's loyal to no one. I mean, it doesn't matter on January 6th how many police officer lives were lost, how many people were in danger. Doesn't matter. He was watching on the TV. Mark Meadows was there telling him you need to do something. Of course, he doesn't take responsibility. He blamed Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi is not the president. It's like this ridiculous argument they're having about, well, what did Kamala do? Kamala is a vice president. She has no authority unless he dies. He has no authority. She has no authority. She can show up at meetings, but she can't make a decision unless he is incapacitated. But all these people are loyal to Donald Trump. It didn't matter the lives were lost. It didn't matter that all the people who followed him lost everything they owned. Marriages upset. Didn't matter. And it didn't matter so much to warn Mike Pence, who used to look at him like a loving wife. He used to kill me. It's one of the funny things. He'd be like, looking at Donald Trump, loyal. Donald Trump didn't call him after being threatened. Can you imagine that? Your friend's like, oh, I meant to call you. I don't think it went that far. But there's a release. There's a release of the papers yesterday. There's some new stuff, but a lot of stuff we already knew. We already knew. Donald Trump is not a Republican. I know he's running under the Republican banner, but he was a Democrat most of his life. He's not a Democrat. Donald Trump is for Donald Trump. End of story. If I mention this, bear with me, but in the last couple of days, he wants a purge. He wants to let the police do whatever they need to do to bring peace into these cities. He said it's going to be a nasty, violent night, but they'll only have to do it once. They'll only have to do it once. Guess where they're going to do it? Mexican and black men who are defending him and not checked his history. I'm telling you, everything I tell you, you need to check. You need to check Central Park 5, his casinos where he didn't trust any black men to handle his money in his casinos. He and his father Fred's racial discrimination. You can Google this. Don't trust the Rodfather. If you don't trust the news, look it up. You can do it right there on your phone. This phone. He wants to send your kinfolks back to Mexico. It doesn't matter what reason. If you live in Florida and you have Haitian, he wants to send them back. When he talks about big cities and eradicate, he's talking about black and brown people. And you want to vote for this? There's blood on the hands of this man. I don't get it. Would you vote for somebody who is going to send your grandmother back to her country, even though she's lived in this country for the last 50 years? I'm sorry. It's like me voting. I had family members get killed for voting or try to get voted in East Texas. I'm going to vote. It's too much investment for me. You're going to vote for a person who wants to oppress black people, who wants to put them back, black and brown people. He wants to send Haitians back to Haiti just because they've done nothing. They're helping the economy of Springfield, the Republican mayor, the city council, the manager, the governor. These people have not done anything. You're putting a whole city at risk. People are coming in. The KKK is coming in to spring because this man just wants to scare certain people to vote for him. I hope if I could change one, if any of this stuff that I've said, and I know I've gone super long, I don't really go this long, but if any of this stuff that I've said here resonates with you, share this with your friends, share this video, talk about it. Talk about it. Because there's no reason. When I was a kid, if we need to look up something, we had to go to the library and look up the Encyclopedia Britannica and all these other stuff. You can do it all on your phone. And even with all this knowledge, a lot of you won't. And that just troubles me. That just troubles me. So this is the Rodfather. If you've hung on this long, I'm emotional because they want to support someone who has never supported them. Not most of you, because I don't know what Kamala and Tim is going to do. But they're not bringing racism. They're not bringing angry, and they're not trying to put people up against each other. On the contrary, she's going to meet with Republicans. She's trying to bring people together. He's trying to divide them. Because if he brought them together, they would see the real him. They would see the real Donald Trump. And he would most certainly lose. But Kamala has brought something we haven't seen in a long time. Joy. People smiling. This is the Rodfather wishing you love, joy, peace, and happiness. If you disagree with me, come back and tell me. I wish nothing hard on I don't wish any bad on anybody. I just want that 78-year-old man who may have dementia. His father Fred had dementia, to retire. And he's American citizen. Whatever he's done, he's got to pay for one way or another. He's doing it so he doesn't pay. He wants to go to the front of the line. I've gone on too long. I don't think I'll do a video this long again, but I'm passionate. And for the people who refuse to read, you can lay in your bed. If you can watch a TikTok video, you can read. There is absolutely no excuse. So on that note, I'm the Rodfather 916. I'm on all formats at the Rodfather 916. Thank you for making this far. I wish everybody well. Love, joy, peace, and happiness. And that's the truth. All right. And I'm out.